Before I started learning Japanese 2 years ago.
Let's keep it moving, let's keep it moving.
And when I thought I sucked at learning languages, nobody expected me to clear N1 within 2 years.
We're very concerned about how our students are different, not how our students are the same. We acquire language in one way and only one way.
See, when I first started learning Japanese, I looked up what the most effective method was and I found this. In 1977, Dr. Stephen Krashen published the Input Hypothesis.
And I'd like to begin this discussion with an outrageous statement. We all acquire language the same way.
It's not how we were taught in schools, it's not how we were taught by tutors, but it's the way we taught ourselves. 1 year ago, I posted this video documenting my entire first year of learning Japanese. In it, I demonstrated my abilities and talked about my methods. After the video was published, I set 2 goals. Number 1 was to clear JLPT by the next year, and number 2 was to be able to speak Japanese by the end of 2022. But before I could make much progress, I was hit with the first obstacle. It turns out that I've been using Anki wrong for a whole 1.5 years. I did about 20,000 extra reviews for no reason because each word used to have 3 to 5 card variants. This means I could have learned an additional 10,000 words within this time. But now, the damage has been done and there's no going back. When I found out that everything I thought to be correct up until that point was wrong, I realized that everything needed to change. Introducing the new cards. For Variant 1, the requirements for passing the card are to correctly recall the pronunciation and definition. If the pitch is off, we simply bury the card for 1 day. For Variant 2, I have to correctly recall the definition. If the writing or the pitch is off, we simply, again, bury it for 1 day. This change meant that I could learn more new words in 1 day while reducing the total amount of reviews. The next thing I did was look up specific JLPT strategies and factors.
Questions, underlines, first paragraph, per sentence, last sentence. Do not try to read it line by line, word by word, or you're never going to finish it.
Furthermore, I also booked quite a few classes on italki, but instead of focusing on talking, we focused on reading graded N1 text and answering questions on the fly. And I know for someone who has a really hard stance against textbooks, it's really weird for me to be using a textbook, but the reason I like this one is because this textbook actually cites real articles. Finally, I also bought a ton of manga, and I've been actually having some fun reading them. As for the words that I'm reviewing in Anki, I mine them from a variety of sources, including anime, games, books, YouTube videos, social media, song lyrics, and of course the textbook that I mentioned earlier. Oh, and did you notice? Websites, anime, videos. Every word that I don't know has automatically been underlined, and I can look up their meanings on the fly. It's even better than Yomi-chan because it can scan sentences with only 1 word that you don't know. Migaku now also has a pitch accent trainer, which is a minimal pairs test.
A minimal pair is 2 words that have the exact same pronunciation except for one thing. Again, nose is hanaga, but flower is hanaga. That's a really good way of improving your ability to discern the correct pitch accent patterns.
I have a tutorial on how to set up Migaku in this video over here, and you can get a free month if you sign up right now using my affiliate link in the pinned comment below. Hey, did you know that I work for a VTuber agency and I'm their animator? 2020. I was in a rut, to say the least. On the same day that I created this channel, I decided to DM one of the VTubers that I was a fan of, and I said, hey, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I think you're really funny. And I know it's a lot to ask for, but is there any way I can help you out? The thing is, I actually know of someone who really needs an animator. It's a new project and we have been looking for an animator like crazy. What a coincidence. Yes! And so I've been working with these VTubers for the past 2 years, and one of the things that I've been looking forward to the most was getting good enough in Japanese to talk directly to these girls and handle their requests, which I can actually do now. In other words, learning Japanese has lifted me from a dark ditch into one of the most fun and rewarding experiences so far. And this relates to my second goal because I wanted to speak by the end of this year. But I can speak, right, in this video here? Well, not quite. What that video shows is my ability to read off a script and my ability to ask the same question like 15 times. If you notice, I didn't actually converse with anybody, and for good reason. If somebody went up to me at an anime festival and went, "Sumimasen, Nihongo shabere ka?" Huh? From my own analysis of my own talking, I believe that I struggle to talk about daily things. Like if somebody asked me what I had for lunch, I might be able to get my meaning through, however it won't come out fluently or smooth. But there are still 4 months left, so that's all the stuff that I'm looking forward to working on. Okay, so now let's do a skill check and figure out what the goal for next year is. For reading, let's do a direct comparison to last year. あと1年あるとはいえ、
あと1年あるとはいえ、
ちょっとした空き時間を
ちょっとした
有効活動して
有効活用
間に合わなくなってしまう。
間に
2年の夏ぐらいから
2年の
担任の教師も
教師
右側には実際に単語を使った例文があって分かりやすい。
使った。
Alright, I mean, as much as I did better than last year, it's still kind of bad. No worries though, because again, I don't really care about reading anyway, so moving on. Writing. Okay, I don't need to show my handwriting again, but I'll do it again anyway. More importantly though, is my ability to write to actually convey meaning. For my video, I actually had a script written for it. Here is the original draft alongside the version that was edited by my Japanese teacher on italki. The point I'm making here is full transparency, so you can see my level regardless of how many mistakes I made. Next year, I want to be better and I want everybody to see how I improve step by step. Speaking. Listening has always been my strong suit, and just as planned, I doubled down and became even stronger. Everything that I demonstrated in the original video, I can understand 100% of. Even this guy? Like 90% of this guy, maybe? I also started watching some new things. So I started watching this TV show on YouTube called 調べてみたら。
今日の調べてみたらは、賽銭泥棒です。
逃げないでください。To an investigation on the cult that caused the biggest terrorist attack in Japan. I also actually got into Mahjong, and so I've been watching a lot of Mahjong VTubers and Mahjong videos. I even first learned how to play Mahjong through this VTuber Utai Mega. Another game that I got into was Ryuga Gotoku, or Yakuza. I highly recommend playing through Yakuza 0. It is now my favorite game of all time. And although at first I played Yakuza 0 in English, I then swapped to Japanese to rewatch a lot of the cutscenes and rewatch other VTubers playing it. And then I was able to play Yakuza Kiwami 2 completely in Japanese. Alright, so what's next? By next year, the first goal I want to do is clear N1 for real. Basically, the way I did the test was like this. Number one, I found out when they were holding a test in Hong Kong. I then matched that and booked a room downstairs from my apartment. I had it complete with a plastic chair and the table. And also the aircon set real low to replicate that cold environment. I even had a mask, despite masks not really having an effect on tests apparently. Bring into the test room, I made sure I only had HB pencils, an eraser with no wrapper, a plastic water bottle also with no wrapper, as well as my ID. I also furthermore planned my entire schedule around the test, and I made sure to even arrive 30 minutes early. And of course, I can't get the exact question that they used in 2022 of July, but I was able to get what I believe were 2021 questions. I used the same app as I used last year, Migi. At first, I thought these were actual past papers, but then I asked myself the question, where did these past papers come from? And I couldn't find the source of them.
My source is that I made it the f up.
I double checked with some of my Japanese teachers and they said that this is indeed N1 level stuff. So every time I say that I cleared the N1, that's what I really mean, because I don't want to go through the steps of saying everything that I just said. My goal is to do it by the end of this year, all full. The second goal that I have is I want to complete my residual Anki cards. You'll be surprised by the words I don't know. Like, I don't know the word for, like, soap. So I gotta get through these cards which hopefully contain the word soap. And after that, my third goal will be to get monetized on this channel. With the 100.1% of you not subscribed to this channel, this goal seems to be the most far away. So if you'd like to help me decrease this number, then please subscribe and hit the bell icon right now. And if you got this far, then hit the like button as well. Cheers.